They all around. They're like New York City rats. Humans.
If I crown myself the rat leader, he crowned himself as the cap leader. He didn't. I'm not even gonna lie. You're a captain of the cap. Like, if Fat Joe is not lying, the next person on the Danza Project, bring Big Pun's son.
6ix9ine just pulled up to the Danza Project for a sit down, and man, he didn't bite his tongue for a second. When the topic of Fat Joe's old comments came up, 6ix9ine went off, clapping back hard and putting Joe's name right under the spotlight. He didn't just defend himself, he came with receipts calling out stories that stretch back decades. The wild part, after checking what 6ix9ine dropped, turns out a lot of it actually lines up with real history. It wasn't just talk. He came with facts that made the room go quiet for a second. 6ix9ine wasn't there to make peace. He came to clear his name, stir the pot, and make sure everyone heard his side loud and clear.
Sure. Fat Joe said that...
Fat Joe's a...
Lean back.
We've been leaning back for 20 years, man. Like...
He said you crowned yourself the rat leader and you wrote the 48 laws of snitching.
Before we even get into what 6ix9ine said, we gotta spin the block for a second. Because Fat Joe's been on this man's case for years. He's been consistent with it too. Interview after interview, podcast after podcast, always keeping 6ix9ine's name in the mix. From My Expert Opinion with Math Hoffa to random IG lives, Joe's made it clear he's not rocking with him at all. In one interview a while back, Fat Joe didn't hold anything back. He flat out called 6ix9ine a rat, a bitch, and even a disgrace to the culture. He claimed he tried to school 6ix9ine early on, warning him that those RICO charges were coming fast, but 6ix9ine supposedly brushed it off like it was nothing. Then, when everything exploded, Joe popped up saying, "I told you so," like he'd seen it all coming from day one. Since then, Fat Joe's been running with that energy heavy, acting like the hip-hop preacher for no snitching rules. Every time the topic comes up, he steps in like he's speaking for the streets, the OGs, and what he calls the real ones.
This show gonna get me in trouble. For sure.
How did you feel after warning Tekashi? Because I saw it when you sat with him. And I was like, Joe is trying to put him on right now, and I'm gonna
just be honest with you. Damn, you went there?
Yeah, I went there.
This is a sucker.
Oh.
He's a sucker.
So, let me get,
Okay.
pop another bottle right there.
No, I ain't drink. I'm dead
It's
sober.
crazy. That talk, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm dead sober. This dude here, this type of shit, this doing, I'm convinced he wanna die. I don't wish it on him or nothing like that, but I'm convinced he's miserable in his body. He can't look in the mirror. Nah, I don't know if he gotta be. There's a lot of
He just got knocked.
So now the man snitch, right? Cool, do you, whatever.
How did you know that?
I don't like the taunting. I try to tell him, like, what happens? Like, yo, bro, listen, I didn't know if he really did it. I didn't know what was going on. The crazy is when I talked to him in that interview, I talked to him off the air, and he lied to me and told me, yo, this is just an image, I'm fronting this and this and that. He told me that in front of Shotty and them. They were standing right there with him.
He said, what?
Joe,
This
he
is
told
just
me that
an
he was
image.
lying.
He's an image.
Yo, Joe, I'm not really doing this. I'm not a gangster. You know, this is all for like promotion. I got it. At that point, I said, so you're not doing nothing because you're gonna go to jail if you're really doing stuff.
Right.
Nah, Joe, I don't do nothing. I'm good. So I'm like, all right.
At this stage in his life, Fat Joe's almost 50. You'd think the man would be chasing peace, not more problems. Sure, people keep bringing up 6ix9ine in interviews, and maybe Joe feels like he's got to respond. But still, if calm energy and growth are the goal, why keep another man's name spinning in the mix? It's like he can't resist jumping back into the drama. Let's be real. 6ix9ine never snitched on Fat Joe. He didn't even tell on anyone close to Joe. Everything that went down was between 6ix9ine and his own crew, the same folks who kidnapped, robbed, and tried to set him up. But somehow Joe keeps spinning it like he's the moral compass of hip-hop, acting like he's guarding the culture's purity. And get this, recently Joe told Jay Duckus he was up late one night, thinking hard about what to talk about on his podcast. Then he said the idea just hit him. Who started the snitching epidemic in hip-hop? And without missing a beat, he pointed the finger straight at 6ix9ine. It's wild because after all these years, Joe's still finding new ways to drag this man into conversations.
Yo, what's the event in hip hop that broke the camel's back? Pause. To make it to where you could snitch. And if you make good music or something, you could still live out here in hip hop. Like, what was the straw that broke the camel's back in hip hop where we had a code and there is no code no more? There just isn't no code no more. And what do you think is the event that, I remember growing up, even if you was fronting, you wasn't a real gangster, but you was spitting gangster rap shit. You wasn't with the rats like that. Right now, this
too many of them.
Sold out concerts.
I don't think you can escape them. They all around. They're like New York City rats. Humans. It's rats everywhere. And everywhere is everything,
Too many Fredos, not enough Michaels.
That's a fact.
Some of these guys got to take a boat ride, never come back. Sammy the Bull is the most famous rat on the earth. Sammy the Bull. Then you came Alpo. Guy everybody looked up to, charismatic, Harlem Fly, Louis Vuitton, this, that, Told. He did that, right?
Shout out to Wayne Perry and Wayne Perry Jr.
Then, in hip-hop, the day 6ix9ine sat on that stand.
Yo.
No!
Man.
You remember, if you're watching the story, they taking him to court in bulletproof vests. They acting like he was telling on El Chapo. He put a lot of good people in jail, man.
No, we gotta put him away till it's time.
Yo,
my feeling is gonna get close.
You feel it?
I feel his time has come. I feel his time is gonna be soon, though.
You don't need a lot.
Yeah.
Does it not matter no more? And I believe 6ix9ine, when he gave guys 20 years in jail. All the guys he was like, but he fucked my wife. But he did. That means nothing. There's a man that works in a bodega that never been a criminal in his life, see some shit he won't tell.
Now here's the real question. What does any of this have to do with music? 6ix9ine hasn't been topping charts lately, that's true. His last major hit dropped years back, and since then, the hype's cooled off a bit. But Fat Joe's whole issue clearly isn't about beats or bars. It's personal, and that's what makes it wild. Let's keep it honest. Most hip-hop fans today aren't from the streets. Probably 90% of people who listen never had to live by street codes. Even most black listeners didn't grow up in those same neighborhoods where those rules were born. So why should that code decide what music we listen to or who we support? The game's evolved, but some people still treat it like the 90s. Pull up to any big rap show right now, look around. The crowd's mostly suburban kids, college students, and regular folks who just love the sound, the energy, the culture. They're not thinking about no snitching or who's certified in the streets. So when Fat Joe starts preaching about real ones and street loyalty, it feels out of touch with what hip-hop really looks like today. Still, Joe keeps blaming 6ix9ine for breaking the rules and ruining the code. But when 6ix9ine finally clapped back, he didn't try to hide his past or dodge it. He played it smart. He flipped the script completely and exposed the double standards Fat Joe's been running with for years.
If I crown myself the rat leader, he crowned himself as the cap leader. He didn't rob no 50 at no gym. Yo, bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Which one's my camera? That one?
Yeah.
This one? That one? Yeah, Fat Joe, you're a you're a I'm not even gonna lie, you're a captain of the cap. Like, nobody believe, even your co-host who's Jadakiss don't believe you. Every time you say a cap, that like, but like I said, you gonna go.
Flag, and flag on the play.
And my next song, I even say, I be spitting so much facts that I make jokes to distract. That's the next bar in my song. Don't like the truth, so y'all make jokes to distract. We know this lying. right? All right, yo, listen to me. Listen
But there's
to
a lot
me.
of people that say he ain't lying.
He
It's
ain't
all
lying?
real. Yeah.
All right. Which one's my camera? If Fat Joe is not lying, the next person on the Dance Project, bring Big Pun's son. Bring Big Pun's son on the Dance Project. Welcome back.
Chris Rivers.
Welcome back, y'all. Let's skip this clip. Watch when he see this clip, he gonna hit up. Yo, Chris, don't do that. How much money you need? Out of here. Yeah, let's talk about it.
Yeah, you just said a lot. You just said a lot.
Bring Big Pun's son. Even on the verses, remember when he was facing Ja Rule?
Yeah.
And they said, don't play that shit. That's Big Pun. Don't do that. Don't do what, fat bitch? You talking about it?
6ix9ine hit the internet with a heavy line. He said, how you talk about morals, integrity, and taking care of your people when you didn't even take care of Big Pun's family? That one landed like a punch to the chest, because in street culture, there's one rule everybody respects. You always take care of your fallen homies' people. That's deeper than loyalty. That's the foundation of the code. If somebody rode for you, bled for your movement, or carried your name, you make sure their family never struggles. No excuses. But according to 6ix9ine and a bunch of other folks who've been watching this situation for years, Fat Joe didn't live up to that. He called him out directly, saying Joe turned his back on Big Pun's family, especially Pun's son, when they needed him most. And the crazy part, this ain't even new. This issue's been floating around the culture for a long time. Big Pun's wife, Liza Rios, has been speaking up for years, accusing Fat Joe of holding on to money that was supposed to go to Pun's estate. We're not just talking pocket change. This is royalty money, publishing checks, and performance residuals, the kind of income that keeps a legend's family taken care of after he's gone.
Right, so when she came to me and told me that, we did 2 projects and we got her, not us. We didn't take $1, we got her $1 million for her and the family. Now she ran through it because she was used to spending that money. She comes back, I write her a check out my pocket, boom, and I'm like, yo, it ain't no more after.
At one point, Fat Joe tried to clear his name by saying he gave Big Pun's family $1 million. But Liza Rios wasn't having it. She went on record calling that a straight-up lie. She even took it a step further and filed a lawsuit claiming Pun's royalties were being collected, just not by the people who were supposed to get them. That's when things really started heating up. According to her side, Joe kept telling the family, there's no money coming in, it's all going to old debts. But when they started digging deeper, they allegedly found that checks were still rolling in, and somebody else was cashing them. That lawsuit made waves across hip-hop media, turning Joe's reputation from the OG of loyalty to the guy with questions to answer. Reports say the case was either settled quietly behind the scenes or might still be moving through the system. Nobody really knows for sure. So when 6ix9ine brought up Big Pun's family, it wasn't just a random diss, it was a calculated shot straight to the heart of Joe's credibility. He flipped Joe's favorite talking point, honor, loyalty, taking care of your people, and threw it right back at him. Because if Joe really stands on that code, then why is Big Pun's family still out here fighting for what's rightfully theirs? That's the question that left the whole conversation frozen for a moment.
And so we find ourselves in situations like Liza Rios has with Joe Cartagena, Fat Joe, where, you know, you got to file a lawsuit to figure out what actually happened and to find out where is the money. So today, although Fat Joe's lawyers originally filed an answer in the case, they subsequently filed a motion to dismiss, as did Jelly's Jams, not claiming that they don't owe any money, but just making technical legal arguments that basically saying that Liza can't sue them for one reason or another. We feel pretty good about the hearing. There was a hearing that took place today, oral arguments for our side and for Jelly's Jams and Fat Joe, to talk about why we believe that they should be kept in this case and why we believe that they basically had fiduciary duties, meaning a higher standard than a breach of contract standard, to pay Liza monies that were due her husband so that her family can benefit. You asked if it was a rehashing. Well, in some ways, it's the same issue. The big question is, where's the money, right? So, and there's some new information has come to light just of late that is setting some light on what happened to the money. And so that's really why this lawsuit is being filed now. You know, over time, you know, you're supposed to get royalties twice a year or whatever, and most of the time the accounts are saying they're unrecouped. So when an artist is getting statements that say they're unrecouped, there's really no reason for them to think that there should be money there. In this particular case, we found the reason to believe that there really should be some more money there. And that is that we found out that in foreign territories overseas, that the writer splits are not properly reflected for the songs the way they should have been. And that's indicating that there was some money that was collected there that shouldn't have been collected. So that's where we're after. We're trying to pursue that. Actually, the important thing is that now artists are also getting paid for that money. ASCAP and BMI, the traditional, you know, societies that collect money for songwriters, have been able to collect money for those streaming services and other, you know, new technology types of.
And honestly, if that story's really true, then yeah, that might just be worse than snitching. Because one thing is breaking a code when your life's on the line, but it's a whole different level when you break your word to your brother's family. That cuts deep. 6ix9ine's whole message was simple but sharp. Don't preach about morals if you're not actually living by them. Don't scream street code when you only follow the parts that fit your story. He flipped the mirror right back on the culture, showing that even the ones claiming to be real sometimes move foul behind the scenes. While the internet keeps labeling 6ix9ine the biggest rat in hip-hop, he just reminded everyone that real ones aren't always as clean as they look, because sometimes the loudest voices talking about integrity are the ones struggling to show any. It's messy, but it's real now, and that's exactly why people can't stop talking about it. At the end of it all, Fat Joe and 6ix9ine stand for two completely different generations colliding. Joe's from the old school, where silence meant strength and loyalty meant everything. 6ix9ine's from the new era, where exposure is the new weapon and truth, no matter how raw, spreads like wildfire. And this time, his truth hit way harder than anyone expected. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.